Yeah, I think we're good, right?
I'm gonna check.
Everything looks good on my end. Sorry that we're a bit later than usual, just that something I needed to prepare real quick, but yeah, just waiting for the confirmation. Cool, awesome. Hello everyone and welcome to the Road to Ragnarok. Today it's only, we literally just looked this up, 75 days until the release of God of War Ragnarok. I know it sounds so close, yet it's so far away.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna be continuing our playthrough of God of War 2018 to kind of get back into the spirit of things. And we're also gonna be discussing any news or tidbits surrounding God of War Ragnarok or other sort of relevant things, because we didn't have... You've been looking into this, right, Jor? We haven't had a lot of news this week, but there are some other sort of kind of interesting things that relate.
I did collect some interesting things, and we're immediately going into a cutscene.
Yes. Yeah, we have to continue the playthrough, of course, as well, because the plan is to finish the game, or hopefully try to at least, before the release of God of War Ragnarok on stream. So we kind of have to continue. So sorry again if we're talking through the cutscenes, but if we're going to be pausing for every one of them, it's A, going to be a very quiet stream, and B, we're not going to be making much progress, I think.
And to be fair, everyone has seen this like a couple of times, right?
Yeah, I mean, there are some, but I just honestly can't get enough of. I don't think the whole Blade scene will ever get old. Or the first scene where we ended the last stream with the first meeting with Jormungandr, which is also a definite highlight, really cool. I think.
Yeah, so like you said, I got some news. Oh, this is the first time. Yeah, for me it's like, of course I wasn't here the last time, so I'm kind of like, okay, where are we at in the... Okay, we can have the portal.
The next thing up is we go, try to go up the mountain, and then we get stopped by the Black Mist, and then we need to travel to Alfheim.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
100% the game as well as New Game Plus. I mean, a bit ambitious. Good to see you, Ben. Thank you for joining.
Throw yourself over the edge of the path.
Okay, well, we're not going to be doing that.
Yeah.
We buy some upgrades already. Yeah, sure.
Because we're right now kind of in the sort of waiting and see moment. Like Sony usually doesn't like change their marketing plan that much for big releases. So what we usually see is like a sort of tease pretty far before launch, because they of course want to get people excited, so they buy the console because they know, hey, in a few years I can play a new God of War or a new Horizon. And then really close to launch, we are seeing like big... Like the trailers are dropping every week with new gameplay here and there. So what I did is I looked at, because Horizon Forbidden West, sure, Gran Turismo came out as well. Kind of a different game. Horizon is kind of similar in terms of mainstream appeal and, yeah, a budget, of course, for a Sony title. So I looked at... When did they start marketing that game, right? Because for that game it was also, we had the State of Play at the end of May last year, which did not end up in the game, which is still kind of sad.
Yeah.
And after that they kind of went quiet. We did not see it at Summer Game Fest, or that was kind of the Summer Game Fest stream. We did not see it, or they announced a release date at Gamescom with no new info or anything. Then we had the editions that were announced, which of course we already have for God of War with the release date. So we're now in that editions are announced. What's next? When will we finally get more gameplay? Because so far we only had a trailer, which is almost a year old at this point.
Yeah, it's insane to think like how big the hype is and then like how little we've actually seen. Because it's been that. It's been the logo teaser before that, but I don't actually really count that. And then we have that sort of really short new cinematic trailer they revealed with the release of the pre-order collector's edition, which I think the only but that was pretty much the only new thing they showed as well. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Meme, Missin, and Yulabi in the chat there, and everyone, of course, thanks for joining. What difficulty are you playing on?
On normal.
Okay,
want to finish the game. Yeah, we had a discussion. I wanted to play it on at the very least hard. Give me God of War as like... Then we're not going to finish it in time. I would love to, but then we're not going to finish it in time.
Yeah, it's not about like streaming it on the highest possible difficulty. It's about seeing the whole game again, getting in that sort of groove again, kind of remind of the story. They did have a video about that, by the way.
Yeah.
A refresher of the story. But we want to like play through it as well. I want to, because we of course again want to finish it, still want to do some side missions as well. Because I think that's very interesting. I really think that will be a big sort of improvement versus this game. With hopefully some unique stories, because if I remember correctly, like the side missions in this game were mostly, hey, go check that out, get that item, bring it back to me, right? Something like that.
Yeah, most of them. I mean, they kind of took you to cool locations, and especially like the quest line you did for Broken Sindri. Those were a bit more expensive. Those I think were actually really cool because there was some cool backstory behind it as well. But yeah, and of course you had the Valkyries, which it's kind of just a boss fight run, but that still remains one of my favorite parts of the entire game.
And I really think that with like when we saw gameplay for this game, we never thought that they would have as much side content, and I really think that will be the case for Ragnarok as well. We know all the realms are in the game. Like I'm sure that just like in the 2018 game, that some realms will be completely optional.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like if we can travel to all the realms, like if we go to Muspelheim again and Niflheim, will that be the same type of experience but upgraded, or what do you think?
I think specifically Muspelheim is going to be way different, because that actually plays a huge part in the story of Ragnarok, of course, with Surtur being one of the key players in the downfall of Asgard. And I think, I don't remember who it was. It's a pretty safe bet because it's God of War. It was either Captain Cube or John Ford. But someone noticed that in the cloth map with the Jotnar edition, you can already kind of see like a fire giant figure in Muspelheim on that map. So people are kind of already assuming that we are going to meet Surtur. So I think that one at the very least is going to be very different. Niflheim maybe? Like, it was an interesting idea for a challenge realm, but I feel like if they're going to bring it back, that will just be an area, and I do feel like the rest of the realm will also be explorable. So I think they're going to be either upgraded experience or that's just one corner of that realm, and that's not everything there's to it.
And I'm sure that the developers were, after seeing the feedback, and I think a lot of people did not like Niflheim in the end. I think there was like some feedback on that they might be like, hey, we want to incorporate that when we maybe bring that realm back.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting. Barbara Jack, hey, how are you? We're doing well. 75 days.
Only 75 more. Of course, always a good time when playing God of War, even if it's not Ragnarok.
For sure. Okay, but going back to what I was talking about, because we actually had brand new, they started kind of marketing Horizon with new gameplay gifts that they shared on December 2nd, which was 2.5 months before launch. We of course know Ragnarok is dropping on November 9th, so that would be September 9th. That would be like kind of next week. Next week in the Horizon, if we can apply that, which again, usually Sony is really following the same marketing beats. Maybe next week they're starting to, or maybe it could also, because we have of course Last of Us Part 1. So maybe they wanted to launch that first, and then it's gonna be all on God of War. But yeah, I really think that in 2 weeks from now, we will probably get a new trailer, because for Horizon we had the Game Awards trailer on December 11th, and that was 2 months before launch. So I really think 2 months before release, so around September 9th, is likely when we will see way more God of War. And that actually brings us to our next point, because there are rumors for a new Sony event as well. Of course, they do it every year. Like in the last 2 years, they had an event in September, which like bigger than a State of Play. So I totally think that if there is an event like that, we will see God of War. So yeah, I really think in 2 weeks, like the road to Ragnarok that we will have on September 9th, I think we will have big new stuff to talk about.
I hope so. That would be nice.
Yeah. If Famous Prime says morning, y'all. Hey, it's afternoon here.
Oh, morning to you.
Morning there. Tristan is asking something about Valhalla. I mean, it's Norse mythology, so I can quickly answer that. Any news on the Valhalla New Game Plus? Not yet, but we of course we are like there will be a Valhalla video up tomorrow. It will not be about or like Assassin's Creed in general. So look forward to that. It will not be about New Game Plus, but if we get New Game Plus, it will be like at the end of the year or early 2020. Can't wait for God of War and all your videos to show me where to get the best loot. Well, Bon Gang, that's totally what we aim to do. Like Dennis, I now have you, like Dennis and Joyce helping me, so that will be insane.
I am going to grind that game so hard. You have no idea. You have no idea.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
You can see it on my face. It's a very serious matter to me.
Yeah. So that's gonna be great. Yeah. Thanks Dennis for noting that November 9th is indeed the date, 75 days. So there was also like a Game Informer sort of cover story for Horizon, which was like 1 month and a half before launch. So it could totally be that, like basically the point is in 2 weeks will be like probably after The Last of Us is out, or maybe they will start like teasing next week already. But that is when I think the marketing for Ragnarok will start, because it's still kind of wild that it's launching in almost like 75 days, like a little over 2 months, and all we have is one like real gameplay trailer, which is kind of interesting. On the other hand, how much else do you want to see? Because I really think that what we saw for Horizon, like where they were like around launch, basically saying, "Hey, there's a flying mount." I did not like that, so I do hope that they keep it a secret.
Well, I remember that. Because I remember we were already playing it pretty early, so I focused on the main story. I knew it was in the game pretty early, and we were like, wow, this is so cool that none of like the teaser trailers or something have showed it. And then the release trailer, so it's like 2 or 3 days before launch, they were like, nah, we're gonna show it. We're gonna show it here. Which is... Yeah. I mean, did they show it or did they just heavily implied it? I don't even remember. I think they heavily implied it.
They had the TV commercial with Aloy basically.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Like, it was like we're just gonna imply. It was like if they released that trailer and you would not have a flying mount, then people would be angry. Like, what the heck? Why are you teasing that? So it was kind of like obviously, but they also gave reviewers. So that was like a few days before launch. They gave them sort of images of Aloy on a flying mount as one of the images you could use in a review.
Yeah.
So if you were like reading a review, and even if the review did not manage to mention the flying mount, and also on Twitter everyone was like sharing these photos, so it counts.
Yeah. Like
I got the week of work approved. Ragnarok week. Let's Dennis. That's
nice.
Insane.
Nice. Good on you.
Christopher Judge and Daniel Bistu. Freya.
Daniel Bisutti. Yeah.
Yeah. We're host for the Future Games, which was a long show with God of War. That's insane. I totally missed that. Nice. Hello from Denmark. Hope everyone is having a lovely Friday. Hope you too, XXRack. And I hope you have a great weekend as well. The Assassin's Creed scheme is confirmed for September 10th. Jake, I saw that.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing as well.
Yeah, but I was kind of asked to not like talk about it in the video, so we're not.
All right.
But not by Ubisoft. But I mean, it seems obvious. There are other things that are pointing to that as well.
I just meant.
What's up, guys? I thought it was something new. Either way, good content. Yeah, like we did not say like new gameplay. We're just talking about the latest news and stuff. So if there's like new gameplay to discuss, we will probably do it during a stream like this as well. We gotta have to figure it out though. Like if you will be then playing in the background, or we will get there when we get there. But no, this is more because of course God of War Ragnarok, biggest game of the year, like that is still to come. And since we're like planning, we of course know beforehand we want to cover these games anyways. So why not do sort of a hype stream? Because we are all hyped here, and it's also good to kind of get a feel for the game. Sometimes, especially when when new trailers for games come out. Like, for example, if the trailer or like an upgrade video for God of War Ragnarok came out, I always have to be like, was that already in the 2018 game or not? And luckily now with the PS5 or with the PS5, you can very easily download the game and see it for yourself. But because we're now kind of engaging, and that is you playing it every week, I think we can also make way better content about it, because we kind of are still in the know.
It's kind of interesting how if you like we play games a lot when they come out, and then when the next one comes out, we usually focus our attention towards that one. So there is actually this thing of like getting back into the swing of things because you haven't touched something in such a long time. Like we're now kind of hyper focused on Saints Row. But even something like if we were to return to Outriders, even though that's like a third-person shooter as well, you kind of have to get back into the swing of things to really, you know, make good footage. So this is gonna keep God of War fresh in the back of our mind. So hopefully,
and for everyone watching as well, and we have kind of a place to hang out every week to count down the days, because it will be there before you know it. Like, it's freaking already almost September.
Yep.
Feels like a few months ago that we were celebrating New Year's Eve. So it's going pretty rapidly. Iris Fighter says pre-order. I can't wait. Dia says, hey JorRaptor, I'm your fan. Well, thanks for joining. I love that Christopher Just the Voice. Actually met him years ago. Can't wait for the next game.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's really cool. What do you think they will show September 10th? I think Rift, AC1 Remake, Future of Valhalla, and the Tears of Infinity. I think you're on the money there. The VR game is probably there as well, Jake. Tyree is asking something that does not have to do with God of War, but I think we can quickly mention it, because we haven't really discussed it. We're of course focused on tips videos for Saints Row, but not really our impressions of the game yet. And since we both now finished it, Dennis,
I think we finished it like pretty much yesterday evening.
Sorry, yesterday. So I think we can like give our quick impressions of it. I'm still debating if we should do a video about it. Maybe I'm of the mind like maybe it's too late, but I still think it could be interesting to kind of, because I want to like have a different angle on it, because I still think that for an open world game it's doing some things like pretty well, but it really kind of falls flat, especially near the end.
I think, like, in my opinion, part of it's personal preference. I really like writing. Like, I like good stories and entertaining characters, and I feel like that's one of the places where the game really falls flat, like, especially towards the end. I think you also kind of said this, the longer it keeps going, the less I feel connected to the character. So that's kind of a personal thing that really made me dislike it. And I also think that, like, I'm not really enjoying like the base gameplay, because most of the objectives do eventually revolve around you shooting stuff, and I don't think the shooting mechanics are all that great. So yeah, if I'm being honest, I enjoyed it well enough in playing through it, but I feel like I'm gonna forget about it pretty quickly.
I can totally see that.
But I'm really happy to hear, like, I think we both mentioned it, like, a lot of people in the comments out there saying it as well, that they're really enjoying it. Like, I'm really happy that people are enjoying it as much as they are.
I saw a very interesting comment talking about, and I do, like, agree more with the reviews now that I finished it versus when I started playing. But someone was like, these reviews are scaring developers off in a way that you really get, especially the open world games now, like, you cannot really get away with, like, even Far Cry had that issue. While it was like a really solid game, it just didn't do anything new. But that's not enough, especially for reviewers anymore. And the person on the comments was like, but this is causing developers to, like, delay their game all the time, and, like, that's why we're in this lull right now. I'm not sure if that's, like, really true, but I can totally see that. Yeah,
there's a point to that. But I do think it's funny you bring up Far Cry, because I think that's another perfect example. Far Cry didn't do anything revolutionary either, I feel. But I did have a much better time playing it because just the
Yeah,
core
yeah.
shooting and stuff felt a lot better. I felt like I was just enjoying the core gameplay there a lot more than I was in Saints Row.
Yeah.
But still, Saints Row does have a lot of things going for it, like the crazy customization options and some of the
Yeah.
late game weapons are really funny.
Takedowns. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like it seems that they unlock like later on in the levels as well, so that's why you constantly see new ones. That's kind of my theory right now, but I don't know. It's pretty cool. Okay, we're going back to God of War. I hope that answers your question, Tyree. Can we use Mjolnir in Ragnarok? I mean,
You think
I would be
it's a definite yes, right?
I would be shocked because it's the freaking collector's edition statue.
Yeah, I still have my doubts.
Do you remember?
But I'm the only doubts I have is who's gonna use it.
Yeah, no, that I do understand. We did kind of discuss that last week already as well, with there being some people thinking that it's actually going to be a weapon for Atreus, which I think is a really interesting theory.
What does this goal mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, my main thing is still, and even more so after, because they did release a video with IGN,
Why help us?
where they kind of really went in depth on the Blades of Chaos scene. It's really cool if you're just interested to know more about behind the scenes of that scene. There's some really cool tidbits of info there. But that made me realize again that the Blades of Chaos were so much more than just, here you go, there's a new weapon. It was a very important moment in the story. And I feel like with Mjolnir, I feel like they're gonna try and top that if they want to include it as a weapon, but I have a hard time seeing how it's going to be as relevant to the story as the blades were. That's where kind of my doubt's at, because I feel like if they're going to be, alright, you defeated Thor, here's his hammer, as opposed to, you know, that
For a
scene,
little while.
it's going to feel a little bit weaker to some
Yeah, but
people.
what if it's one of the many weapons?
Then it would be really cool. That could be
Yeah,
an
like-
option.
Because of course the director on this game was the combat director on God of War, so maybe he's like, like we can't replicate the blades in terms of emotional impact and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But what if it's just like, what if Kratos, because we start with the blades and the axe, so we already have an amazing arsenal and of course new skills to unlock for those. But I do think 1/3 into the game we will likely get a new weapon, and hopefully more. Like I think only one would maybe not be enough if they yeah. So we will see.
I mean, there's a definite chance. We already people mentioned that as well. But Freya's sword here, of course, as well. Interesting candidate for a weapon. We know Odin's gonna show up, so Gungnir is going to be a possible option.
Oh, yeah.
There are way more, like just looking at Norse mythology, and of course the cool thing about God of War now is they're not just limited to Norse mythology anymore. I also saw a lot of people wanting the Blade of Olympus to come back, and while I think
Oh yeah.
that's like there's gonna be some interesting hooks that need to happen in the story as well for that to make sense. But that would be really cool. But yeah, I feel like if you're thinking of it as Mjolnir as just one of the weapons you're going to get, it makes a lot more sense. But if it's just Mjolnir,
I dearly wish I didn't.
then I feel like
does she have like a sword on her back now as well? I think it's
yeah,
like
she does.
she does, but it's not the one that we see in Ragnarok.
I
right?
think it actually is. I think I made a mistake there because we did say it wasn't in the video, but I think that's a mistake on my end actually.
But can we like photo mode her or something?
We can photo mode. Well, there we go.
That's
Well, her hair is kind of in the way.
yeah, it's blocking it. I'm not sure if that's the same one though.
Yeah, I think because there were comments of people saying it wasn't, and I kind of double checked it. At least the pommel is the same, I think. So the back end here. I think the reason why it looks different is part of the sort of engravings that are on the blade kind of fall into the scabbard. Because you can,
Okay.
if you look it up, you can kind of find a model of that sword by its own from like a cosplayer's guide or something, and it does look really similar to what was shown in the trailer. So,
Okay.
but
Wait, yeah, but we just did not really see her, I think, use it.
no. Technically, I think at this point she can't use it because there's that whole thing going on with Odin having cursed her and losing her warrior spirit.
Watch your step. Just along here.
Yeah, I can show you. I can send you the image of Freya, her character. It's in your Discord, so maybe you
Is
can like
that
show it.
so? Let me
I'm not
show
sure
you
if you
something.
can like, yeah,
I think I can.
because then you see the blade way better. But yeah, I think it's the same.
It is the same
It's
one.
just upgraded a bit.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull this up. Just a second.
Are
Yeah,
you
I'm curious if they're going the whole Mega Man style where you're just getting more
Yeah.
weapons from, or if it's only Mjolnir. Or if we change characters, like that's still a big
it can now
possibility as
reawaken
well.
the magic of the elves.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, it won't just disappear, will it?
Do
Not
you,
as
do you
long as
think
the
there's
light
gonna be
shines
like
free.
time travel?
This way.
I would think so, yeah.
I want one.
I don't know how and when exactly it's going to come into play, but we already established that it's going to happen because Jormungandr exists.
From
Yeah.
Vagabond?
So it kind of has to.
Stories. Other than
Unless
And
they're
we still
going to
have
pull
like
like
who,
some
who
sort
blew
of...
the horn, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, that could have been a sort of time travel
There are no good
Atreus or
gods
something.
away.
I think a lot of people right now are leaning towards Angerboda, but it could also be Loki / Atreus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look
Like,
for
I-
another image, by the way, because the one you sent me doesn't work for some reason.
Ah, okay. Everyday Reddit question: will Kratos die? Yeah, that's the $1 million question.
I wouldn't put my money on it.
No.
And the reason why is, technically speaking, Kratos has already died like 3 or 4 times, if not more.
Yeah.
So, I really think that a prophecy of him dying, which we of course see at the end of this game, is to him is just like, well, just another day at the office.
Yeah.
guess someone thinks I'm gonna die again.
I don't know. Yeah, I think also like in this day and age where like well, like having like a mascot is so important, killing them off. Like I
Yeah.
think in Last of Us it made more sense because it
Here
was like
it is, by the way. It's the
Oh, do you have
same.
it on screen?
Yeah, I have it on the screen now. It's the same, but you see the bottom part of the blade has some really intricate carvings, and I was like, oh, you can't see those on the current blade, so it's something different. But in fact, I think that's like inside of the scabbard. So
Yeah. But
Oh,
I
we
think
need
it
to
could
do
be
it.
a cool weapon. I do think they like totally put way more like effort and
oh yeah, for
upgraded
sure.
the
Like
blade
it's
for
it's
the
a special weapon, absolutely. I do still think that that theory we had that it's the summer sword,
I did it.
which is from
Oh,
her
yeah.
brother Freyr, which can fight for itself, which would be an interesting way to work around the fact that technically Freya can't fight might still hold true.
Game. Yeah.
But I do think there are files in game, or like once again the cosplay guide stated something like that. I think it's called the Sparrow Sword, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I do agree with you that they put a lot of work in making it look good. So
Yeah, and we see her use it in the first trailer, like attacking Atreus and Kratos on the.
Boy, you're really strong.
Yeah, I think there will be like. I don't think we will play Kratos all the time. Like I think there will be like Atreus and Angerboda parts, and I think actually the end of the trailer we saw with Angerboda, hey, come or something like that. Like that was to Atreus, I think.
yeah,
So that she will be his guide. It's kind of like maybe a weird comparison, but kind of like Ratchet and Clank, where Clank goes away for a moment. And
Yeah, and then
he
you-
has its own.
you have Kratos and Tyr,
Yeah.
which are kind of bound because they're the same, and then
And
Atreus
Mimir,
and
that is,
Angerboda. Yeah, Mimir is just always there. Mimir's just
Yeah,
chilling
yeah.
in the background. Just like, oh, write that down.
Yeah. Yeah, Tyr, we have Tyr as well. Like maybe he become. I think it's cool. There are many things that can happen, but I'm of the same mind that I don't think they will kill Kratos. Because I don't think they have a good enough character to.
Or the elves
yeah.
tier stuff.
I don't think it will like. We need.
Mm-hmm.
I want Kratos in Egypt. Like I don't want another character. And I'm not sure if they can do a Last of Us sort of 180 where you're kind of rooting for Abby at the end. I'm not sure if they can
Yeah.
do that.
I do think it would be. That's the thing that I feel like they did this. They made Ragnarok,
Now depleted.
or
Only a
specifically
few locks of
2018,
magic
the way
remained
it
in
is
the
because
bowstring,
people
and we
were
used
people really felt like Kratos needed to die because the Greek mythology thing wasn't working out anymore because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
character didn't evolve. And I really feel that they'd have to pull off something pretty impressive to make him go through a transformation like that again. Because eventually this version of Kratos will start to feel stale as well. Not right now. Like, I am more than ready for like 2 or 3 or 4 more of these games because they're incredible.
Or I want like a good ending for him where he's like retiring. That could also be because that's kind of what I feel. He's already kind of at the start of this game, like kind of over it.
Yeah.
Then he gets sucked into it again. So you would imagine it's even more so the case in Ragnarok. So. But yeah, I want to leave him and then maybe in a new game he suddenly shows up. Like that would be a cool moment, of course.
He deserves that much, but then again, we are still kind of watching a Greek tragedy, so I'm not expecting it. But my guess would be that like Kratos dies at like 2/3 of the story, and that's where the crazy time travel shenanigans comes in. We also mentioned that the Nornir who like make the fates are also cast and have voice actresses already.
Oh yeah.
And once again, that wouldn't be the first time in God of War history where you go to the people who make Fate and are like, no, I don't like that. Can you please change it? No, you can't. Well, then they'll just kill you. So you can see Atreus doing that to bring their old dad back as well.
Yeah, that would be cool. There is gonna be a moment though, because again, that first trailer, it's really the first few hours. It kind of feels like the part where we are now, where you're kind of like, we're going to Svartalfheim, we're exploring that a bit.
I think it's literally just Alfheim and Svartalfheim that we see, right?
Yeah.
It's like none of the major regions that were really hyped. Like no Asgard, no Vanaheim.
Yeah, so I'm curious where they will go with the next trailer. Like, what will they show? And that's of course. I mean, they can trick us, like they did that as well in The Last of Us Part 2, where I think we saw Joel and or only Ellie on a horse, I think in Seattle. While of course, what's her name? The other character was with her in Seattle.
You mean Dina? Or
yeah,
Abby?
Dina.
No,
Dina.
Yggdrasil is much more.
So I think in the footage we only saw Ellie, but in the game it was Dina as well, and then people first thought, oh, Dina dies at the end, but of course that did not happen.
Feeds our valleys and rivers. The tree's very existence.
Kratos dying would blow my mind. Yeah,
and would
I think
also
that's
blow
kinda-
his mind.
Hey Jedi Dad, good to see you. Do you think they will show Spider-Man 2 gameplay at the showcase? Yeah, 100%, Jake, if it's happening. Maybe the next setting will be Rome. I think he's talking about Assassin's Creed. I'm not sure.
No, I mean, that would be a really interesting plot twist for God of War, because that effectively means that someone resurrected the Greek pantheon.
Oh, yeah.
And I still feel that there is a tease of Zeus being in the underworld here. Like you see him in Helheim. I still feel like that's a threat they're going to pull. Like they can't just leave that out in the open.
Yes.
So maybe he will be resurrected as Jupiter, and then we have the Roman pantheon, which is literally the Greek or the Roman version. Can I copy your homework?
Without a tower for the bridge
They pretty much straight up just copied the Greek pantheon. So that could be interesting. But I would rather have them go to something completely new and different, like Egypt, like you were mentioning. I think Corey actually mentioned in the Raising Kratos documentary as well that back when they first started developing this, the idea was actually Egypt.
Remember to take the Bifrost. You don't want
They
to
had
lose
that teaser.
Yeah, I hope that's happening. I see someone say the game audio is very distracting. Maybe we should turn it down.
I can turn it down a bit, yes sir.
Because I can imagine that like we are talking through it all the time. Yeah.
I'll
But it's
lower it
kind
a
of
bit.
like, yeah.
giant crystal.
But if we like turn it down quite a lot, I don't think people will find it annoying. I mean, we still have the subtitles. Maybe we can make it a bit larger.
Yeah. Let me know if this is better, chat. So I did turn it down by quite a bit now.
Yes, this is Saints Row.
This is Saints Row. This is
Yeah. Saints
My-
Row 2018.
creator code for the boss is
Fight Zeus and Odin. Like that's really, I think, what they also said in 2018. Of course, like the older God of War games were really known for their huge boss battles, and we did not really see them here. Of course, there were a few, but not a lot compared to the older games. Like I think that's gonna be more so in Ragnarok if Fenrir is maybe something we will fight or whatever. So yeah, I'm sure there will be like way bigger larger scale boss fights. But yeah, they have to like kind of blow our minds. So that's why I would not be surprised if a Kratos dies, let's go back in time, save him, something moment like that happens.
And maybe
Well,
what happened with the horn is related to that as well. Who knows? Because that's of course still the big question with the horn. Not only who, but why.
I can barely see it.
Yeah, it's so cool that they already thought of that, of course, going into this new game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find what we need there. No.
Bye bye.
Not yet. What's happening?
We get a better look at the sword now. No, we don't, unfortunately.
You must step into the light, but be very careful not to get caught.
Goodbye. Real quick, will Amazon buy EA? That was kind of the news going around. That's not happening. Gunboy Maximum, how do you think they will tackle Atreus trying to find who Loki is?
I think that
Look at this place.
that is going to be manipulated by Odin, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
That because the Norse pantheon knows about Loki. I don't think Kratos did. Because at that point, at the mural, Kratos is like, oh, well, guess my wife has some secrets too.
Yeah.
And either Faye left him more clues, or someone else is going to make use of the fact that he's looking for information. And if there's anyone who knows how to play games with information, it is Odin. So,
They keep murdering the writer.
because I don't think Mimir doesn't know. The only one who knew was Faye.
Yeah.
And Faye, I think, told her story, or at least from what we could tell, in that mural. So we pretty much got everything we could get from that. But yeah, that is an interesting question. I think it's going to be a very important plot point in Ragnarok. You stop jumping around. I don't like fighting these guys.
And we, of course, already know they will be back in Ragnarok, likely with some new variants, you would imagine.
But we do now fight light elves as well, which looked really cool, and less flying, so that's a win in my book. It's the fact that they hop around so much. And then they start
Kratos feels
walking.
less powerful in this game as well. Hopefully in the next game he doesn't, or they balance it between Atreus and Kratos. Where do you feel that same power level like the original games? Yeah, that makes sense, because of course, like, on one hand, it kind of, I think it's always hard, because I would argue that Aloy at the start of Forbidden West also felt way less powerful than Aloy at the start of Zero Dawn, even though they did bring over some elements. But we do, of course, have the chains already at the start of Ragnarok, so that's gonna be cool.
Yeah. And I think what also is going to help is the fact that we already know from one of the earlier interviews that specifically for the blades, they were kind of trying to look at, because it was introduced pretty late into this game. As you can see, we don't have them yet. But that they were kind of trying to look at some of the greatest hits of the Blades of Chaos to bring back for Ragnarok. So you can pretty much expect the moveset for that weapon to be very much expanded upon.
Yeah, and
Which I
I'm
think
just
will
curious
also help.
what it will look like when we start, right? So what abilities will we already have?
Oh yeah, for sure.
When we start, but already being able to switch is gonna be cool. And we of course know that the shield will be expanded upon. Right now it's only a cosmetic option, so we will have way more of that. No Way Out, we did not watch the Wolong gameplay trailer. I did see it like on Twitter, but we haven't watched it yet. Ooh, Nox is saying Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West.
Spicy hot take.
Spicy hot take for sure. Gamescom and disappointing. It's just the expectation. I thought the show was actually pretty good. I'm working on a video with going over like all the big new sort of open world games that were announced, and quite a lot of cool stuff that I'm looking forward to that we did not know about before. So I think it's I would argue that it's actually a bit more exciting than Summer Game Fest. So Summer Game Fest was really more about games we knew about for a long time. So
And 1 hour before the show, which I still think is kind of took a lot of hype away from it. Or do you not agree?
the
The Last of Us announcement leaking early.
Yeah. That was the big thing, but I would argue that Dead Island 2 is more exciting than The Last of Us Part
Yeah,
1.
I do agree.
So because that's kind of unknown. Like, sure, it's a sequel, but I'm like, I know what to expect from The Last of Us Part 1. Like, I'm excited to play through it. But on the other hand, yeah, Dead Island 2 had a better showing as well. Lies of P is the top of my list now. Yeah, I can see that. I'm kind of sad that it's still like 2023. That feels like a game that is gonna be delayed a couple of times before we actually play it. But Timon, what's the name again? Steel Rising from the Greedfall creators. That one is actually like coming up very soon, and it looks pretty similar. It looks a bit like it totally looks less.
Yeah. Setting is
Yeah.
a bit different. That one is set during the French Revolution, I think. Or a
Yeah,
alternate
yeah.
version of the French Revolution where there were more robots around. Because there,
Yeah,
in case you didn't know, there were no robots during the French Revolution.
but I think it's it actually, if they can capitalize on that hype and for people that are waiting for Lies of Pi, like I think it could be cool, but it of course depends on how good the game is. But it kind of looks similar in terms of like robotic enemies and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that game as well. Looks cool. Gotham Knights, yeah, had a great showing.
Yeah, that was a really good trailer.
Yeah, but I'm like kind of the mind, like I'm curious how it will shake out now that Saints Row was kind of disappointing in the end. While I was also kind of holding out hope. So, I at least think the story in Gotham Knights or like the characters that we will meet will be more exciting, and I think that
Yeah.
will already help a lot. I'm just not sure how the open world will be, like the activities and stuff. So. Honestly, just watch for the Street Fighter 6 stuff. Like that's overall what I think. That overall Gamescom brought a lot of cool stuff. I want to go back to another topic though, because of course we want to play through God of War to prepare for Ragnarok, but also go over some recent news. And I think one thing is not really directly connected, but it's still interesting because they mentioned God of War in the press release. And then I'm talking about the PS4 Pro or the PS5 Pro controller that was revealed. It's the DualSense Edge. Actually, also during Gamescom, so that's a nice.
You mean this one?
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, I think the
So yeah.
backside is actually more exciting than the front. Oh, I'll pull it back up in a bit. I need to fight some people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that controller was announced for the first time. Sony is doing an official one. There were still like some. I actually have one. Second. Like there were some like third-party PS4 Pro controllers, but they can of course not hit the same level as a Sony controller can do. But that would be something like this. And that also had like back buttons and stuff, which was kind of interesting. But it was fine controller, nothing too crazy. But now Sony is doing their own thing, and it will have ultra customizable controls, so we can remap specific buttons to what you prefer. You can also either like reduce triggers, so reduce the travel distance that you need for faster input. So you can basically, right now, of course, when you shoot, you have to press the trigger all the way. I think you can like pull that down quite significantly, so you only have to press it a bit. I think that might be like actually kind of cheating in Call of Duty or something.
I mean, that's
You can-
mostly what they're for, right? That's
Yeah, but it's pay to win in a way. You could argue that. They also allow multiple control profiles. So if you, for example, play a Call of Duty game and God of War, because they actually mention whether you're facing Norse gods and monsters in God of War Ragnarok or rival players in an online battle royale, you can like swap between your control profiles on the fly. So that's actually kind of cool, and that makes me think with them like mentioning God of War that it's actually launching. I would not be surprised if they're aiming Modern Warfare 2, which of course at the end of October.
Yeah, that will be a big. I think a lot of people want to pick up a controller like this. You can kind of see
Yeah.
like some of the selectable switches on the background, and of course extra buttons as well. You can see all of them here. So
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, I think it's
there's two
looking
back
really
buttons. You can
nice.
remove them as well. So
it looks surprisingly sleek for how much they added on top of what's already there on the controller. right
yeah,
now.
for sure.
I just really like the DualSense in general.
Robert is saying, Dennis, don't forget the Atreus arrows.
Yeah, I know. I was a bit slacking in that last part. I can do better. We'll get back into it. Don't worry.
Will the PS5 Pro controller have a pricing? The PS5 Pro controller have a price increase as well? We don't know the price yet. No way out. So like, I don't think they can increase the price. But if it's like 155, then we know what happens because
Yeah.
no, I am curious what the price will be. I'm saying 150. I think it's gonna be lower than that because I think the Elite controller is that much though, but this feels like a little less.
Yeah, like I hope it will be, because I think if it's going to be that expensive or much more expensive, that a lot less people will get it. How much is a normal DualSense?
60, I
Yeah.
think. But yeah, just like with the Elite controller that I'm using right here, you can like remove the analog sticks, which work really well. Even the D-pad, you can switch that out. So, and also it has 4 back buttons, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So you can like even remove those. Like it's a very, very, like I love the Elite controller. So I'm happy that Sony does one as well. It's like it's kind of crazy that they haven't done it yet, but better late than never, I guess.
Can't work things out. How if I'm so
Yeah, again, I think it's gonna launch pretty soon. So that'll be cool.
I hope so.
70 in the US for a regular DualSense. Okay, thanks Mello for noting that. Hey Austin, hey Jor and Dennis. Hope you're all having a great day. Hope you too, Austin. Hope you have a great weekend coming up as well. We also got Enbus Soul saying, hopefully Atomic Heart comes out soon because it looks insane.
Yeah,
and not another year delay.
did you see the new gameplay?
water, all right.
I saw that they dropped it, but I'm kind of like, when are we gonna see? Like, I already believe that it looks insane. So I'm like, because they did not say 2022 anymore, right? So feels like they delayed it.
Yeah. I mean, I was
It
already
was
thinking
planned
that
for this
a
year.
long
Like,
time.
I think it was even planned for 2021. So like, it would be amazing to have that
Yeah.
this year. While next year, I'm like, how do we find the time for everything?
Yeah, that's the big downside. It does
Yeah.
look really good, but I also feel like it might come at a bit of an unfortunate timing. And again, I think like it's a type of game that a lot of people have been looking forward to, that there's not really much of. Like, how long
Yeah,
has
for
it
sure.
been since like the last BioShock? When did Infinite come out? Because it's been quite a while.
2013, I think.
Yeah.
Father,
So
the voices I heard.
really like that game. But they are doing the next movie. I think they got an update on that, and like they're like, it's probably like planned for next year or early 2024. The new BioShock. That's kind of great. I think Warhammer Dark Tide is gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Henry?
that's gotta be awesome.
Yeah, we want to stream that as well. And Austin, I see you in the YouTube chat as well. Nice. And Skizzle Bizzle, I can't wait for your videos on Ragnarok. Discovered your channel while looking for tips for God of War 2018. Been watching ever since. That's amazing. That's a long time ago, actually. More than 4 years. But yeah, we will be all over Ragnarok, of course. It will be the biggest game we cover. So, can't wait. Can't wait. And it will be kind of interesting because, of course, we got Horizon pretty early thanks to a code from Sony. Like, I'm curious if we will be sitting here having already played Ragnarok, pretending that we haven't. So, I mean, we can usually like post a social post or something that we have
Yeah,
the
that
game.
we actually have it.
Yeah, but we have to be. I'm curious because I still want to do the streams. I still want to get hyped with everyone, but we have to be kind of careful with the theory. So maybe we're gonna like be upfront about that and just say, hey, we're gonna play 2018, talk about that, and.
I mean, either that or just have to hurry up, which is also an option.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I want to like have it every week, so that's kind of the. Time to expand the channel, get different people working on different games. Well, Ben, I mean, we're slowly kind of doing it already. Like, it's mostly Joyce and Dennis who are working on Saints Row, so that's kind of cool.
God of War is mine, by the way. Just want to say that on chat. Nobody's coming in here to take that away from me.
No. But I think God of War we want to do it. We want to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Be there. Yeah, we want to focus on that. Everyone. But yeah, that's. I mean. But the problem kind of is, Ben, that or like problem, like that's what I thought when kind of hiring you and Joyce, oh, I'm gonna have more time for other stuff. But what ended up happening is that we actually just improved the videos a lot, so the quality is way better. And yeah, that is also because we look at it. We work on it. Mostly all three of us. So
yeah, it rarely happens that it's like 2 people on the video or 1 person on the video.
I mean, we are doing it more often, but like, yeah, it's sadly not the case that we have more time to cover more things, because also with the kind of content, like, it's not that we do a let's play or something. So with the kind of content that we're making, we all have to be near the end game or like have a lot of knowledge about the game. So for updates and stuff.
Tricky.
Uh,
Very tricky.
Dennis snatching God of War already. Too late, you're dead.
Yeah. He already
I'm gonna
knew.
sleep at your house, Dennis, if you you can't block that. All hands on deck for Ragnarok. Only big games to get the treatment: God of War, Zelda, The Last of Us, Kirby, Horizon.
Think that side hallway will
I-
get us to the temple?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of crazy about like the time we're in if you really think about it. Also for like there have been some big games, of course, but 2021 for us was mostly Far Cry
Yep.
and what else?
Outriders, right?
Oh yeah, Outriders came out, but that was still like kind of on the same level as Saints Row in a way.
Yeah.
And this year it is already a bit more, of course, but yeah, since we're all like full time working on the channel, we haven't had like I mean, I should not really say that we had the 2020, which was kind of crazy with first Watch Dogs, Valhalla, and Cyberpunk. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
after
that was wild, and then the whole Elden Ring, Dawn of Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West.
yeah.
Back
That
to
was
back.
kind of crazy as well. Yeah. And that's so sad. Like we're now in this like if Horizon launched in April, that would have been perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah. Are you gonna offer the collection pack again? I actually, Jonathan, and that's kind of funny. I think we have a freaking, and I'm gonna like just share it. I think we actually have an ongoing, a giveaway that we started. Like it's still like there. Yeah. It ends in 13 days. Yeah, that's not really. That's so yeah. The same giveaway that we had. Like we're just gonna pick like one winner before launch, but it's not like the collector's edition. It's like the digital deluxe edition.
It's still
So
pretty
yeah, I'm gonna
good.
like. Yeah, it's still really nice. Yeah, we want to do that for the big games as well. Which again, for now is only Ragnarok. But for example, if Rift gets announced, we will do giveaways for those two. Maybe multiple, but for now, just one. But yeah, I'm gonna like share it because it's been a while. I'm gonna like update the thing as well. September. So that's when I thought it was gonna drop in September. Like when the giveaway ends is kind of my estimation for when the game came out. But they of course pushed it. Like you mentioned the logo again, Dennis.
Yeah.
Remember that?
The logo.
And that was
tease.
2021.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna end it on Friday, November 4th. That's so I'm gonna like. So let's have a new one. Can you carry over Kratos from God of War to Ragnarok or no? No, don't expect it, Ken.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Ragnarok pending. Is Elden Ring your game of the year so far? I mean, yeah, for you I think it is, right, Dennis?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of has to be. Which is, I mean, I did have a lot of fun with the other games we were covering, but like, FromSoft games will always have a special place in my heart. So,
Yeah, I totally get that.
did actually end up finishing it during the holiday break, so I can
Oh, nice.
finally say it with some form of credit as well.
I mean, yeah, finishing. What does that even mean? Like, I know people who just rush through it, so they finished it, but they like saw 20% of all the bosses. I would imagine.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I talked with you about this as well. I kind of feel like I cheated some parts because of one weapon in particular. It was incredibly strong before it got patched.
Yeah.
That really made some of the bosses a lot easier than they should have been, but I'll go back to it.
Sorry. Jonathan was asking, is Sony gonna offer the collector's edition again? Usually that doesn't happen. So if you don't have it, it's too late. Is Horizon Forbidden West DLC happening? I think so. And again, we're talking here about a Sony event probably dropping, not next week, but the week after. High chance we will actually see Horizon DLC there as well. But I was kind of like, I think Gamescom would have been way better because I think Horizon DLC, like for me, that would be the most hype thing because going back to the Game of the Year thing, that's still my Game of the Year, and I don't think God of War can. Maybe it can.
I was gonna say, you don't think so? That's a bold statement.
Nah, I just like Horizon, that world, and yeah, I like that more. I don't know.
No, I get that. Like, that's the same thing for me in Elden Ring. It's like a big part of just personal preference if that's what you really like.
Yeah. But I might be able to say, like, yeah, I think God of War is the better game. But I'm not sure. Like, it might be fall into the same traps as Horizon Forbidden West. That it just doesn't do... That it still feels like a game trapped on PS4 for PS5. And that's what I really felt for Horizon Forbidden West. Also that... I think the biggest takeaway from Horizon Forbidden West is that they were playing it really safe, and that the game was planned for like a year earlier than it came out. And you saw that, like, by the time it came out, and of course Elden Ring didn't do the game any favors in terms of, okay, this is what an open world game can be as well. Obviously two different games, but I still think, and I hope that Guerrilla Games looks at that game and thinks, like, even if they do a Niflheim realm like God of War, like, make at least a new gameplay experience, because right now it feels a little too formulaic. Also with the I forgot about these cool elemental. Like, at least make a bit of like a right now, like the Slaughter Spine encountering that was so like that would have been a really cool moment if I did not like see it on a random beach, like a sunny beach, and like if it was like in a. When you think of the Forbidden West, you think of like a scary place. Like you think of the Niflheim in God of War, where it was kind of like, what am I going to encounter here? I'm kind of scared of what's next, and I never really had that in Horizon Forbidden West. That's kind of my main thing. And I'm curious if the DLC can be that, and I hope the DLC is really like end game focused and not weird like Frozen Wilds, where it's kind of like you can exit earlier as well.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But still, like, Frozen Wilds was also way harder. Like the Frostclaw and the Fireclaw were pretty strong. Horizon Forbidden West, my game of the year. Andrew, I'm with you. Horizon was the reason I found this channel, and for me, it's definitely game of the year. Well, Robert, we're on the same page here. But yeah, I'm curious. I think like Horizon totally like the flying mount, like that they nailed that is just so awesome.
That was really cool. It was such a cool moment as well. Like in the story. Felt very earned, for lack of better words.
Yeah, for sure. And I didn't know it back then, so that was like extra special.
No, I tried my hardest to keep it hidden for you. I was like, hey, you might want to focus on the story, buddy, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. That's We always try to keep. We never showed the freaking flying mount, I think, until a few weeks later. We even sometimes, like, that's how, and maybe it's a bit too crazy because it does take more time, but if we would record something and you would still see the flying mount icon in the because sometimes you were just not, like, things like that happen. But yeah, then we would just not like or re-record it.
Yeah, when you saw it in the equipment wheel. The icon, you mean? Because we didn't want these people. Yeah.
And I'm kind of scared for God of War Ragnarok as well. Like, what if we get Mjolnir? Like, that will be such a cool moment. Do we then like not like how are you gonna do that? Like,
yeah, when are you going to show that? When is the right moment? Because I feel like people are always going to be... There's always going to be people who say, oh, you're only covering this now, you're way too late. And there's always going to be people who say, I didn't know about this yet, thanks for spoiling it.
I think the what we're gonna do is just no spoilers in the thumbnail, and then just say best weapons in the game, or like end game upgrades, and then just before that, like when the video starts, hey, spoiler warning, there are gonna be like things you don't maybe want to see. Okay, you're still here, let's go. And then in the footage you saw before we actually show, for example, Mjolnir, if that's in the game, you just see Kratos run around with the blades or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that will be the tactic, because like you said, there are going to be people who are like, and that sucks when you're making YouTube videos. Like, YouTube is a minefield, because there are people that are dropping cutscenes of, for example, Kratos getting Mjolnir, like, and just having that in the thumbnail, and there are a lot of people that will click on that will be exciting, and then YouTube thinks, oh, more people want to watch it, and then
Yeah, I think these
you will be
days
spoiled.
the only way to not get spoiled is to literally just stay off the internet.
Yeah.
around launch.
Or you can just go to, which kind of crazy and it's hard on mobile, but just go to the channels directly that you know don't spoil. Like, I hope people do that. But yeah, of course, you go to the homepage and then it's filled with recommended videos of, oh no, Kratos died or something like that. That would of course kind of suck. Hope the DLC is amazing, because I love Horizon Forbidden West. Yeah, I'm actually really curious about DLC. I want it. And I hope it's still launched this year. Like, I really think Horizon can get back in that Game of the Year conversation, because I think a lot of websites will, pick Elden Ring over it. And if they launch like really good DLC, that might like persuade people to at least like, give it a nomination. I still think it will be nominated.
I think
by a lot of
nominated
websites.
is out of the question. I think that's gonna happen for sure. Win, I don't know.
Yeah,
I hope.
I don't think it will win a lot of. Sadly,
Yeah.
sadly, it will win on our
Fun-
channel.
Fun
Or
fact,
Dennis.
by the way. I think.
Oh,
Guess I'll just have to make my own then. No, fun. That was a joke. Don't take that seriously, anybody. But I think this is actually the cover art for the collector's edition box. I think it's this specific Shrine of Knowledge.
oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
something to do with a lore giant. She knows a lot of things, which is why this book. I think we're also gonna call it quits here, right? Because we've been streaming for an hour.
Oh
you wanna-
wow. Yeah. I think that's a good time. But I want to say something that Susanne is saying. Did you see the poster in Division 2 gave a hint at Valhalla? Now it changed. It has a picture of an American Indian, and the title is Wildlands.
Wait a minute.
What?
You mean the poster you used to decipher?
That's interesting, Susanne. Thanks for sharing that.
That-
I'm gonna make a screen cap of you so I know if we use that. I would not be surprised if because Wildlands was in PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass, and Immortals, by the way, now as well. Like, I would not be surprised if they are going to announce the new Ghost Recon, which like Wildlands 2, but maybe it is set in American Indian.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe this could be the setting that no one was expecting. That
That could also be it but it has Wildlands, so.
I mean,
But that's very interesting.
didn't the poster for Valhalla not literally have Valhalla on it either? It was something else, right?
It said Valhalla. No, it said Valhalla.
It literally said Valhalla. Okay.
I think so. I can't remember it, but I think
No,
it did.
I remember. I think it was Ragnarok. Because I remember people
yeah.
speculating that would be the name, and then we were like, no, because God of War is already going to be calling that.
Yeah, but I don't think they will call it Ghost Recon Wildlands 2. I think they will. Maybe they will.
No, I don't
because
think
they
it's for
need a
Ghost
win.
Recon.
They need a win.
I don't think it's for Ghost Recon. I think it's I think it might
Yeah.
be for AC again. We'll see, but it's a very interesting find. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
that.
thanks, Susan. Appreciate it.
But
yeah, there are channels that spoil, and I haven't seen these channels often, and that or like recently, because there haven't just been a lot of high caliber games where you can spoil. Like I think like Gotham Knights is the next one where they will, if Batman is not dead or something,
Yeah.
they will spoil that. So be careful for that. But yeah, you're continuing.
No, I thought I'd want to leave the screen still.
Oh,
we
yeah,
can
that's
stop
right.
at any point you want. Because we do still have another video to finish for today, so we can
That
call
is
it here.
saying that's correct. This is the image of the collector's edition.
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna end it next week. We want to have a longer stream, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We have to finish the game somehow.
Yep.
So, thanks for joining again every Friday, same time. So an hour back so an hour from how do you say that? An hour prior to this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 p.m. Central European time or whatever your local equivalent is.
we have a countdown on the channel as well. We want to play through the game, talk about Ragnarok. I'm sure more people will join as we get closer to launch, when we hopefully have some actual news to discuss and gameplay. We'll of course keep you up to date with other videos as well. So thanks a lot for watching. If you got like any theories or something, you can find us at. You can send it over to the input@joraptor.com. Whoop-de-doop. I'm gonna
Which is
share it here.
Being dropped in chat right now.
Or in the comments under the YouTube video, the VOD of this one. Dennis, any final words?
No, I'm just excited to get back in next week. I'm so enjoying my time replaying this game, so I hope we have more news to discuss soon.
Yeah,
that would make the
that would be
streams
great.
even better, but...
I mean, we might have the announcement for the Sony show. That would be my prediction.
Yeah.
That it's like, hey, next week, tune in, first day, September 8th, for the next look at the upcoming PlayStation games. I think that might be what we will see.
I hope that's what we're going to be discussing next week.
And we also have like Last of Us Part 1. I'm not sure when I can stream that, so maybe we will have to see. But there will, so maybe we have to like do this on a. We will see.
We'll figure
Just
it out.
We'll follow. Just follow us. Cool videos coming this weekend. A look at the Gamescom games and also Assassin's Creed. We got a cool one about that, so keep it locked for that. Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate everyone being here, and thanks.
See you in the next